When they announced that we're going to have negotiations with Iran, we said this was a load of crap. We said it was total farce, and it was going to lead up to war. We said it week after week after week. Week after week after week. And we said it was a farce about Trump and Netanyahu not getting along with each other. They're talking to each other all the time. Again, read Trump's speech on last Saturday. He praises Netanyahu. He goes, we work together like no two teams ever worked together. What are you talking? He praised Netanyahu over and over again. This is to get the people's minds off the facts.
You're watching CapitalCosm. My name is Danny. It is June 25th, 2025, and we certainly have a lot to talk about. Gerald Celente is my guest today, and I couldn't be more thrilled. Gerald, thank you so much for coming back on the show.
Oh, and thank you for all that you do. And we're up here in Kingston, New York, and we're caught in a heat wave, a tropical heat wave. Woo! It's like 100 degrees, man. It's really warm.
Yeah. Well, we're going to amp up the temperature on this podcast nonetheless, whether it be metaphorical or literal. So strap in. Gerald Celente is the publisher of the Trends Journal, and I'd like to remind my audience that we do have a special 10% discount on the Trends Journal for people who click on the special link in the description box or the pinned comment down below. I believe that comes out to about $2.50 a day. And I'm still reading through the latest edition, which came out yesterday on June 24th. And you've got about 184 pages of analysis, Gerald. So impressive stuff what you and your team have been able to do on a regular basis. Because, for all the other people out there who have, day-to-day jobs, we may not have enough time to research all this stuff to the extent that we'd like. And, your team is kind of like an outsourced research team in this regard. So I just wanted to encourage my audience to consider becoming a member of the Trends Journal.
Again, it's only $2.50 a week.
Oh, so a week. My mistake.
Yeah.
My mistake.
The toilet paper record, the New York Times, $4 a day. The Wall Street Journal has turned into a little nothing of a newspaper, $5 a day. The Weekend, $6, $5 to the New York Times. I've never worked harder in my life. Never. And I've been at this for 45 years. I have best-selling books, Trends 2000, Trend Tracking, far better than Megatrends, Time Magazine. And we give the people from high-tech science to AI, whole sections, technocracy, geopolitics, economics, on and on and on. So we're doing everything we can to help people prepare, prevail, and prosper in these very, very dangerous times ahead. Again, I've been at this for 45 years. Each year we do top trends. Oh, one of them last year, golden year for gold. Gold only went up 30%. This year, one of our top trends was wild card. Again, I've been at this a lot of years. Never did we come up with wild card. This is the wildest time in my life. I'm the same age as Trump. I'm born in 1946, right after the war. Napolitano from the Bronx. And I grew up at the perfect time of America. The spirit was so high. My aunts and uncles, parents, may they all rest in peace. The vibe was so great. They were always having fun. Never a word about politics. Never a word. And it was the spirit of America that's gone now. So I'm heartbroken to see what this country's devolved into. And it's from one piece of crap president after another. And again, it's not only the United States. Take a trip to the UK. Who was the president before the little clown Starmer boy? Boris Johnson. The best cartoonist in the world could not have come up with a little more freaky a piece of crap than that clown boy. Oh, how about, what do you got? The little garçon over there in France, Macron, with a pecker, if he has one, about this size and fake hair. Arrogant little pieces of shit all over the world, destroying us. So anyway, I'm heartbroken to see the future, and we're doing everything we can to help people prepare, prevail, and prosper in the most dangerous times of my lifetime.
That's 1,000% sure. Now, what may seem on the outside to be a bit of a reprieve with this ongoing ceasefire now between Iran and Israel, of course, nothing's official. This is just, for nothing has been signed on the dotted line. This is just an understanding between the two countries. So foreseeably, I mean, this thing could ratchet back up at any point. But what do you make of this ceasefire? Do you see it as something that that can be sustainable for a good amount of time, or is it more of a lunch break between the U.S., Israel, and Iran?
Well, let's go by the facts. And again, that's all we do in the Trends Journal is we go by the facts. And for example, the Israel war, we subscribe, we pay to go to Haaretz. We go to Jerusalem Post, Ynet, Times of Israel. Oh, we also go to Press TV, Tehran Times. We want to see the others that want to see what's going on in Iran. Mm-hmm. So, ceasefire. How many times has Israel violated the ceasefire they agreed to with Lebanon? Oh, only about over 100 times. How can they get away with this crap? Hey, don't you know who we are? We're the chosen people. Yeah, F you. What am I, just a guinea from the Bronx? Save it, Jack. The God's chosen people, according to Naomi Wolf as well, a Jewish woman, God chooses people who live in the spirit of God. So save your religious fairy tales for somebody else. Oh, how about the ceasefire with Hamas? Oh, they broke that one too. Oh, well, they only slaughtered, about 84 Palestinians yesterday? About 68 the day before. On and on and on and on. No, not in the major. Nope. Don't report this. Don't put that in the news. What ceasefire? What ceasefire? And I want to make this 1,000% clear. Trump, oh, by the way, I had lunch with Trump's brother, Robin, back in 2017 when Trump was president, first term. He had a restaurant over here in Wassaic, which is across the river from me in Kingston. And I'm with the brother for 3 hours. The brother goes on to say that when their father died, he left the family over $500 million worth of real estate. Trump is nothing more than a spoiled daddy's boy. And again, just to make this clear, couldn't stand the last little piece of scum, genocide Joe Biden, or the one before, the one before, the one before, the one before, the one before. It's a crime syndicate. So going back to Trump. Last Friday, in 2 weeks, I'm going to announce what I'm going to do to Iran. The next way, bombs away over Iran. Oh, Saturday? Oh, when all the equity markets were closed down? Yeah. Because if he did it on a weekday when the equity markets are open, the stocks would have crashed and oil prices would have spiked. The exact opposite happened because on Monday he announces a ceasefire. Oil prices dropped, some $13 from their high? Markets skyrocketed back up. Nah, this isn't going anywhere. It's another, hey, you elect me, I'm going to be the peace president. Yeah, right. And again, we had all his quotes, how when he ran for president, how he's going to be for peace, 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 peace. You bombed another country. You bombed another country. Who could get away with this crap? Oh, in violation of the Constitution of the United States, by the way, just to make that clear. Iran was no threat to us. Here, just want to get this. This is one of my books. Trend tracking. Far better than Megatrends, Time Magazine, wrote it in 1989. I write about, let me just look this up quickly over here. Here it is. The Iran crisis. I told you how I started tracking trends during the Iran crisis of 1979. And I'll use that as a simple model. I was following the political trends in Iran. I was also following the trend of our declining ability to make the world conform to our image. All right? The Iranian conflict breaks out. Late 1970s. This is how I became a trend forecaster. They taught the American people to hate the Iranians. Never a word on how the United States, the CIA, and the MI6 overthrew the democratically elected government of Mohammad Mossadegh in 1953 in Iran. You know why they overthrew him? Again, the facts are all there. The facts are all there. Look them up. A piece of scum, an ugly piece of shit, an arrogant, ballless little fuck, Winston Churchill. He gave us World War II. And Kermit Roosevelt, Theodore Roosevelt's grandson, the MI6 and the CIA overthrew Mossadegh's government. You know why? Because Mossadegh had the balls to say the oil in Iran belongs to the Iranian people, not to Anglo-Iranian Oil, better known today as BP, or Standard Oil, better known today as ExxonMobil. The little piece of shit, they called him the peanut farmer, with a pair of balls the size of peanuts that the stupid, ignorant people look up to. Little Jimmy Carter. Oh, yeah, with the scumbag Brzezinski, that was his guy. Oh, yeah, we'll talk about that later. Who gave us Mujahideen, which became Al-Qaeda because they wanted to stop the Russians in Afghanistan. He comes back from spending New Year's Eve with the Shah and his wife, him and Rosalind Carter. This is when I became a political atheist and a trend forecaster. Comes back on New Year's Day. All the little boys dressed up in their little drag costumes salute him as he comes out of the helicopter. It's right here in my book. And he says that the Shah is the island of stability in the Middle East. In the Bronx, we have a saying, bullshit has its own sound. People had no idea the Savak, the secret police, the scumbag, the arrogant dictator, piece of shit Shah. They were slaughtering tens of thousands of Iranians after he took over. The Savak, the secret police, made the SS look good.
And now they have his son ready in the wings.
Yep. Yeah, a little piece of shit too. Another little piece of shit. So I started playing the gold and oil futures markets. I said, this thing's going to go down. I placed $5,000 bets in the futures markets, and each one brought it almost back then to $750,000. That's how I became a trend forecaster. I look at things the way they are, not the propaganda that they're selling. And that's why you subscribe to the Trends Journal magazine. This is what they say in Iran. This is what they say in Israel. This is what they say in Europe. This is what they say in the United States. This is the way we see it. It's not what you want, what you like. How fucking stupid can you be? I'm a Republican. I'm a Democrat. I'm a liberal. I'm a conservative. I got a mind the size of a pig. How about being a nobody and just look at the facts? So going back and going forward, it's all about control. There's a great book that everybody should read called War's a Racket by Smedley Butler, the most decorated Marine in the history of the United States at the time, 1930s. He says what a crime syndicate is. What they did in Haiti, what they did here and there, stealing this, stealing that, stealing this and stealing that, and killing people. And here's the other bullshit. The little piece of shit, a little clown boy dressed up in fucking costumes with a little crown. The King of England. King Charles III. An ugly piece of shit. Hey, if you were Italian, you'd call it the mafia. The royal family. Screw you. What royal family? You're a bunch of fucking thieves. Well, the sun never sets on the British Empire. We kill people all over the world and steal what we want. And the shitheads swallow our crap, roll out the red carpet and kiss my ring as I dress up in my drag costume. Same thing with the Dutch, one after another, all over the world. These are crime syndicates.
Yeah, that's been the common theme for quite a while. Certainly since I was in my lifetime, and for much longer than that as well. Now, I want to take it back to the Iran-Israel conflict. you can call it a war if you'd like, a 12-day war, as Trump likes to put it. But throughout the entire time of the negotiation period, over the last month or two, since we've had negotiations ongoing between the U.S. and Iran over what they're going to do with the nuclear facilities, and you had like this seeming spat between Netanyahu and Trump. Reports have now come out not too long ago that was all kabuki theater, that was all pro wrestling kayfabe. Now you're starting to see the reemergence of that as well. Trump the other day, while on the tarmac, said Iran and Israel, they don't know what the F they're doing. So if you're Iran, how can, not just if you're Iran, but if you're just any player on the world stage, can you no longer take the US's word at face value any longer, considering everything that's gone on? I mean, this duplicity that we've seen play out has seemingly destroyed trust in U.S. good faith negotiations.
Go back to your Trends Journal. When they announced that we're going to have negotiations with Iran, we said this was a load of crap. We said it was total farce, and it was going to lead up to war. We said it week after week after week, week after week after week. And we said it was a farce about Trump and Netanyahu not getting along with each other. They're talking to each other all the time. Again, read Trump's speech on last Saturday. He praises Netanyahu. He goes, "We work together like no two teams ever worked together." What are you talking about? He praises Netanyahu over and over again. This is to get the people's minds off the facts. Trump is totally sold out Zionist. Oh, you forgot that he got, what, $100 million from Sheldon Adelson? Oh, yeah, we're moving the embassy from Tel Aviv to Jerusalem. Hey, you know that land you stole from Syria, the Golanites? Hey, it's yours, all right? The numbers, according to some people, from Adelson's wife, Marion Adelson, gave Trump over $200 million when he ran for office. His little boy son-in-law, an arrogant piece of shit, Jared Kushner. Oh, Kushner? Wait a minute. Kushner's his old man was caught in a crime and Trump gave him a free ride? Yeah, that Kushner? You mean the Kushner when Netanyahu used to come to America, would stay at the Kushner's house? That Jared Kushner? The Jared Kushner, who we quoted in the Trends Journal in March of 2024, that's very, quote, valuable waterfront property in Gaza. And the Palestinian people should be moved into the Negev desert. Yeah, that Trump you're talking about? The Zionist Trump who has that little clown boy, Huckleberry, Hucklebee, Hucklecrap, an arrogant fat slob. Oh, the former governor of Arkansas. Oh, and his daughter was Trump's mouthpiece. I forgot the first term. Now he's the United States ambassador to Israel, saying that God gave Israel this land when he spoke to Abraham 3,500 years ago. Hey, godson, was God got lockjaw? The only person he ever spoke to was Abraham. I got to believe your fairy tale.
So Jared, so how do you think this impacts like relations between the U.S. and Russia? They were having similar negotiations in regards to a Ukraine peace deal, negotiation between the U.S. and China. If you're Xi Jinping, if you're Vladimir Putin, how can you even have any contact, or not just contact, but negotiations with a country or a person who's outright admitted to duplicity?
Again, by their deeds you shall know them. When I told you I met with Robert Trump, who passed away a couple of years ago, I said, what'd you do with Trump? He said, I was his attorney. Yeah. This is the guy, Trump. You're talking about duplicity and Trump's deals. Yeah, he built in Atlantic City, the casino. they screwed the contractors out of their last payments. All right? These are facts. Trump only cares about himself. He could care less about anybody else. And again, that's why we have been bullish on crypto. It's not because we like them. Again, it's not what you want, what you like, what you wish for. It's what is. I don't believe in digital nothings. I'm a supporter. I believe in gold. But now the whole Trump team, the whole Trump family, they're in the crypto business. Look at how crypto's what? As we're speaking now, about $107,000 a coin. It was what, 70,000 when he got elected?
And it's very odd that you would announce a crypto reserve and while simultaneously supposedly trying to build one, because one would think if you're actually building a reserve, the last thing you would do is announce it to the public. Like, you would do it in secret.
Again, talking about Trump, let's go back to what he said before he became president the second time about Bitcoin, how much he hated them. The facts are there. And then you're talking about the war with Ukraine war. Hey, you elect me. I'm going to end that war in 24 hours, all right? All right? Hey, now that I'm elected, I'm going to end that war before I get into office, all right? All right? How could people swallow the crap spewing out of this arrogant guy's mouth? Well, I shouldn't say that. Maybe they'll have me killed. Those are the facts. Where's the outrage? Oh, calm down, Celente. Be a good little boy and swallow the crap spewing out of the mouth of the politicians.
Man, we really got you fired up today, Gerald.
I'm angry.
Yeah.
I am angry. You know,
well,
and by the way, there's a quote that he who's not angry when it's justifiable to be angry, this is St. Thomas Aquinas, is immoral if you're not angry when you should be. It's immoral. And again, with the military buildup, I launched Occupy Peace over a decade ago. So I put my money where my mouth is. I met rallies. I do all I can. But again, you don't get any money from the billionaires. Peter Buffett, Warren Buffett's son, he used to be a tenant in one of my buildings, the 1763 Dr. Jensen House. I own 3 of the most historic buildings in America. It's on the most historic 4 corners up here in Kingston. He had the Novo Foundation. Never gave me a penny for peace. He would even say hello to me. I'm a guinea from the Bronx. Hey, you know, my father's Warren Buffett. Arrogant boy. Billionaires don't give a penny for peace. Here, he who is not angry when there is just cause for anger is immoral. Why? Because anger looks to the good of justice. And if you can live amid injustice without anger, you are immoral as well as unjust. Thomas Aquinas.
Yeah, justifiably so. So to kind of wrap things.
Before I forget.
Sure.
I just found this. I talked about Trump on Saturday and about Netanyahu and the BS that they hate each other. Here we go. I want to thank and congratulate Prime Minister Bibi Netanyahu. We worked as a team like perhaps no team has ever worked before. And we've gone a long way to erasing this horrible threat to Israel. And you ready? I want to thank the Israeli military for the wonderful job that they've done. Oh, you mean the genocide in Gaza? Is that what you're talking about? Oh, and you're stealing our money to give it to them to do it? How can you get away with this crap? How can you get away with this? Thanking that scumbag, murderous Netanyahu.
And to kind of put a cap on all this, the latest now is that despite these bombings on the nuclear facilities on the 3 nuclear sites in Iran, U.S. intel sources have reported that no significant damage has been done to to anything really. And they blew out a few entrance ways and exit tunnels, and doesn't appear like they've really set back the Iranian nuclear program substantially, maybe a couple of months or so. But all the nuclear material was outside of those facilities at the time of those strikes.
And remember, the one that he knocked down, this Tulsi Gabbard, she said they weren't making nuclear weapons. And then he went after her for saying that, which all the facts show that they weren't. And he's the one that killed the nuclear deal that was put under Obama, who was another piece of crap, just to make that clear. But it was Trump that killed the deal back in 2018, 2020, around there. And he killed Soleimani, the Iranian general. Oh, here's some quotes by Trump. We want to have peace on earth all over. September 25th, 2025. I'm not going to start a war. I'm going to stop wars. October 20th, 2024. If I were president, I would have settled the war in 1 day, 24 hours, meaning the Ukraine war. I want immediate peace. This is when he got his inauguration. I'm moving quickly to end wars. The planet to peace. I want peace. I want to see the Middle East get back to peace and real peace. But a peace that is going to be lasting peace. One lie after another. What are you talking about peace? And you're bombing another country and stealing our money to keep the genocide going? He's full of crap.
And it seems like the market is eating it up. You look at some of the current price action. Oil doesn't seem to be getting a bid. The oil market seems to be believing that the ceasefire is going to be something for a long time. Gold got a bit of a bid in the midst of the crisis, but now it's kind of retraced back down to $3,300 level. Equities are back green today. So the market is completely complacent. What do you think is going on in the markets here?
I told you they did it as a rig. He announced they attacked on a Saturday when everything was closed. And now he's selling the crap that there's peace on earth. There's peace now. Ceasefire. The markets went up. And the markets are rigged. Don't believe me. Believe the facts. And that's why you believe the Trends Journal. We only put the facts in. So I'm not making it up. When I say don't believe me, I'm not making this up. I'm making the facts. How about another arrogant boy, Jamie Dimon, the head of JP Morgan Chase, convicted of 5 felonies. Convicted. What was one of them? Rigging the precious metals market. 2019, they only had to pay $900 million for their crime. All right? There was this guy, George Carlin, a great guy. His brother, by the way, Patrick, used to work for me. He used to say, it's one big club and you ain't in it. The whole game is rigged. All right? What do you got? 3 companies, BlackRock, Vanguard, State Street, own 88% of the S&P 500? 80 or 88. Yeah.
Whatever the case may be, it's a big amount.
3 countries,
right.
3 companies. It's a rigged game.
Yeah. So you look at some of the market action, and then you mentioned Powell. Now that we've seen this kabuki theater between Trump and Netanyahu play out to be nothing more than kabuki theater, can we take anything at face value between Trump and Powell's supposed feud as well? Do you anticipate them actually? Is this a way to kind of keep interest rates hiked at an elevated level without Trump getting any heat?
It may be, but if things go down, interest rates go down. And again, we only go by the facts in your Trends Journal. Let's go back to 2018, December. The worst Dow since the Great Depression, 1931. The worst December since 1931, the Dow Jones. What happened? Trump got Powell there. I want you to lower interest rates. What did Powell do? January, boop, boop, down went interest rates. Again, it's one big club. Look who used to be the Treasury Secretary of the United States under a dead piece of crap scumbag Joe Biden, a murderous bastard that loved every war. Oh, Janet Yellen. Oh, Miss Fatchabrut. Yeah, from what was her last job? Oh, she was the Fed head. Wait a minute. You mean the former Fed head was the Treasury Secretary?
Mm-hmm. It's a revolving door.
It's one big club, and you ain't in it.
And so what can we anticipate for the markets? You look at the gold price right now. Should we anticipate greater gold prices as we move forward? Because clearly chaos is, for better or for worse, a tailwind for precious metals.
I'm very bullish on gold because, again, the wild cards, the wars are going to ramp up. Look what just happened in the NATO or the EU, NATO countries. They're going 5% of their GDP is going to a defense now. It's a waste of money. Oh, Germany's in third largest economy in the world, in recession for 2 years, and you're borrowing $1 trillion to build up your military. Oh, and our infrastructure so the bridges could hold the tanks. Oh, and they're all selling the crap that this is going to increase their economies. No, it's not. This is economics 101. Economies increase when the products manufactured in a country are bought by consumers. These products aren't being bought. You're just going deeper in debt. It's only going to the military-industrial complex. Oh, the military-industrial complex, huh? Oh, let me see here. Every gun that is made, every warship launched, every rocket fired signifies in the final sense a theft from those who hunger and are not fed, those who are cold and not clothed. The world in arms is not spending money alone. It's spending the sweat of the laborers, the genius of the scientists, the hopes of the children. This is not a way of life at all in any true sense. Under the clouds of war, it is humanity hanging on a cross of iron. Dwight D. Eisenhower, 5-star general in World War II, Supreme Commander of the Allied Forces, and 2-term American president, warning the Americans that the military-industrial complex was destroying the nation. And here we are. A friend of mine, I'm 4.5 hours from Montreal. My friend went up there last week, took Amtrak. I call it Amcrap. You ready? 10 hours up, 10 hours back. 4.5 hour drive. The roads are all rotted. Potholes everywhere. Bridges are, the country's falling to crap in front of our eyes. But we're going to spend $1 trillion for the military. All right?
This is an interesting statistic that kind of harkens to your point here. I was watching an interview on Judge Napolitano the other day. I believe it was John Mearsheimer, and he said that if you look at all of the wartime deaths in World War II from 1939 up until 1941, more have died in the Ukraine war and the wars in Gaza and so in the Middle East since 2022 than that time period in World War II. So,
you know, Judge Napolitano, by the way, we're very good friends. I do a podcast with him. You go to Gerald Celente, Celente, or Trends Journal sites on YouTube. I do one with him every Wednesday. And we're very good friends. We go to dinner. We meet an hour away.
Mm.
So we have dinner about 10 times a year. And he speaks at my peace rallies. He's the man that I want to see as president of the United States. There's nobody that knows the Constitution and the Bill of Rights better than he does. He was a former Supreme Court judge in New Jersey.
Does he have any plans? Does he have any plans to run?
He may, but we're going to need money to make it happen. You know, I began my career, by the way, working on political campaigns in Westchester County back in the 1970s. And I was the assistant to the Secretary of the New York State Senate. I designed instructed a course called American Politics and Campaign Technology, how to run political campaigns. And I taught it at St. John's University. I was at this a lot of years. And that's why I know what I know, because I was on the other side. And then I got to hate it when I saw what it really was. 40% of the people right now think there's going to be a civil war in America, according to the latest poll. There's never been a better time for a third party. Never, 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 never. Oh, by the way, in this book, Trend Tracking, far better than Megatrends Time magazine. I used to be on all the media back in the day. I had forecast there'd be a new third party and someone like Ross Perot would run for president in 1992. And that's what happened. I forecasted in 1989 in this book.
Are you willing to make a forecast for 2028 that we could see the same thing?
No, I'm saying there's never been a better time.
Gotcha.
And someone like Napolitano should be the man.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of Judge Napolitano's channel.
He's great.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. One more thing before we wrap up here, Gerald. I want to get your thoughts on how this might impact BRICS, because if you recall, at the start of the Ukraine war, when the U.S. froze all the Russian assets, that's really when you started seeing this breakout in the 10-year yield, and U.S. bonds started selling off at a rate not seen before for many years. Could we see something similar, akin to that, now that trust has been eroded even further from the United States? Will BRICS be able to, I guess, consolidate more and more influence because of what we saw transpire the last 2 weeks?
Go to your Trends Journal magazine cover a couple of weeks ago, Death of the Dollar. The world has had enough of the United States geopolitical and economic hegemony. They had it. They don't want it anymore. Now, let's go back. Trump is going to force Powell to lower interest rates. The lower interest rates go, the deeper the dollar falls. He wants a cheaper dollar, he says it. So United States exports go up. It's cheaper to buy the products. Gold is dollar-based. So as your currency is going up, it's cheaper to buy gold. This is the beginning of the end of the death of the dollar. America became the country our founding fathers fought against. The United Kingdom. Again, the sun never sets on the British Empire. They had wars all over the place. They started World War I. What happened? All these wars killed their economy. And that's when the dollar took over after World War I. The United States is just a warmongering nation. I used to say and write about in the Trends Journal, the 20th century was the American century, but the 21st century will be the Chinese century. Why? Because the business of China is business and the business of America is war. Again, people call me, I'm a trend forecaster. I can't predict. So don't call me a predictor. You can't predict what's going to happen. There's too many wild cards. Maybe it be by nature of humans. China started the COVID war on January 2020, the year of the rat, their Lunar New Year. They destroyed their economy. It hasn't come back. Over 30% of China's GDP is real estate related. Depending on whose numbers you look at, between 50 and 90 million empty apartments. When they came into the World Trade Organization, and by the way, just to show you how I feel, I told you about my forecast of Ross Perot, 1992. This is a T-shirt that I did when Bill Clinton ran for office. Could you see that?
Yep. Beware Slick Willie.
Yep. Oh, by the way, you can get these T-shirts, show you how I feel about politicians, when you go to trendsjournal.com.
I think I've seen this one. Yep.
Okay. So
Okay.
you look at the GDP of China before they got into the World Trade Organization. It's like that. They get in and the GDP skyrockets. With every boom, there's a bust. They overbuilt it. But to make a bad situation worse, they had 3 years of zero COVID policy and locked down the nation. The damage they've done is incalculable. It's going to take China years to get back. Again, we write the data. Everything's going down. There's real problems there. So everything's going down. And one of my sayings is when all else fails, they take you to war. What followed the Great Depression? World War II. What followed the dot-com bust? The War on Terror. What followed 39 weeks of protests in Israel that the president of Israel, Isaac Herzog, back in 2024, called it a civil war is raging in Israel. The people were taking to the streets in protest of Netanyahu's Judicial Reform Act, which said, yeah, I'm being brought up on these charges, but I'm going to do away with the court so I can have a free ride. 39 weeks of protests. Hamas attacks. Everybody forgot it. We're off to war. Oh, and again, we only write the facts. In your Trends Journal, 3 days after Hamas attacked, it was reported that the United States and Egypt warned that the attack was going to happen. And since that time, a number of newspapers and news sites, including Haaretz, Netanyahu knew about it, that it was going to happen, and he let it happen because it gets the people's minds off the other problems. So when all else fails, they take you to war. Again, Germany, the third largest country in the world, has been in recession for 2 years, heading to the third, and now they're increasing their defense budget by $1 trillion with the building up their infrastructure as well, and all of NATO, 5% of their GDP. As it's going down, wars are ramping up. If we don't have peace on Earth, it's going to be the end of life on Earth.
Yeah, it seems like it's an inevitable conclusion to the way we're heading. So again, I want to encourage my audience to check out the Trends Journal. We do have a special 10% discount for viewers of this channel simply by clicking the link down below, getting your 10% discount. That's less than $2.50 a week.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know if you've adjusted the price of this newsletter for inflation or not, Gerald, but to me, that seems like a steal.
Yeah.
But again, check it out. You do a whole ton of research, 184 pages on the latest issue, and it's chock full of geopolitical, investing, financial, all these insights that would take us so much time out of our day just to kind of consolidate. You've been able to consolidate it into one spot. So again, link is down below. Gerald, thank you so much for coming on, my friend. Anything else you want to lay out or talk about before we wrap up here?
Yeah, everybody get in the best shape you can, physically, emotionally, and spiritually. Do what you can at the highest level. And, it's a learning process. Now, I'm not the same guy I was when I was a kid, And I never worked harder in my life. I read about 6 or 7 hours a day and all over the world. And we're trying to give the people the best we can. But it's up to the people to make the change. It does not take a majority to prevail, but rather an irate, tireless minority, keen on setting brush fires of freedom in the minds of men, said Samuel Adams. So we have to be that irate, tireless minority and keen on setting brush fires of freedom in the minds of men and, of course, women and everybody else. So please do what you can. Do something positive every day to bring it to a different level, and we could change it. United we stand, divided we die. So thank you for all you're doing, Danny. Love being on with you, and I appreciate it. Thank you.
It's always a pleasure having you on, Gerald. Thank you so much for your time. Guys, if you enjoyed this podcast, drop us a like and comment. Go, Gerald, go in the comment section. If you disagreed with anything, that's fine too.
Yeah.
But let me know why you disagreed. I do read the comments, every single comment, actually. So very interested in getting your thoughts here. Liking, subscribing, commenting, all that stuff really goes a long way in helping push this video up in the algorithm. So if you like the message here, you want more people to listen to it, then like that video. And every little bit does go a long way. Check us out on Substack as well, capitalcosm.substack.com, and check out the Trends Journal. Get that 10% discount in the link down below. So I'll see you next time, guys. Thanks for watching. Bye.